Welcome to Understanding Human Anatomy and part 3 of our discussion of the perineum. In the last video, we looked at the pelvic diaphragm as one would see it looking externally on someone in the lithotomy position. In this video, we're going to look at the pelvic diaphragm again, but this time from the inside. We're going to look at from the interior of the pelvic cavity. Let me start by drawing in the sacrum. And with the sacrum we have the wings or ala. And again, the sacrum's composed of 5 vertebrae, and the tip down here will be the coccyx. Then I need to draw in the os cocci, and in this view we're going to be roughly in the area of the greater sciatic notch. So we won't have an articulation visible between the os cocci and the sacrum, and so we'll draw the os cocci in like so, down to the pubic region, and we'll have an acetabulum for the articulation with the head of the femur. And let me draw it in from the other side. Like so, and again we'll put in the pubic symphysis anteriorly. Now, the first muscle I want to sketch in is not part of the diaphragm, but is actually a muscle of the lower extremity. And it's a muscle that takes origin from the inner surface of the sacrum, and is a triangular shaped muscle that runs out to the greater sciatic notch, runs through the greater sciatic notch to exit the pelvic cavity and insert onto the femur. And this muscle is piriformis. I'll draw the other side in here. And again, it takes origin from the interior of the pelvic cavity and exits the pelvic cavity through the greater sciatic foramen to insert onto the femur. And this is piriformis. And then we have another muscle, not part of the diaphragm. It takes origin from the inner surface of the os cocci in the area around the obturator foramen. And that muscle is the obturator internus. And I will sketch that in here. It is also a muscle of the lower extremity. Like so. And it also passes out of the pelvis to insert onto the femur. So this is the obturator internus muscle. And we'll draw a line to it. And before I go too far, I need to draw in the three openings: the urethra, the vagina, and the anus. Now, we'll sketch in the pubococcygeus muscle, starting with the pubovaginalis. And again, I will indicate the perineal body with a black star. And then just lateral to the pubovaginalis would be the puborectalis. And it also sending fibers into the perineal body, but most of its fibers coming to insert into a second fibrous knot, the anal-coccygeal ligament, which I indicated with another black star. And refresh the one here for the perineal body. Then we have iliococcygeus, which would be running in this area. And a lot of iliococcygeus takes origin from the obturator membrane. The membrane on the inner surface of obturator internus. And again, its fibers come down to insert on the anal-coccygeal ligament. And then finally, we have coccygeus, filling in this space. So we'll put some labels in. We'll start with the pelvic diaphragm. And that is composed of levator ani, and coccygeus. Levator ani is composed of pubococcygeus and pubococcygeus is made up of pubovaginalis, or in the male, puboprostaticus, and puborectalis, and the other part of levator ani is iliococcygeus. So let me draw lines to these muscles. We have the pubovaginalis, in light blue, the puborectalis in dark blue, the iliococcygeus in purple, and the coccygeus in green. So this is what we see when looking at the inner surface of the pelvic diaphragm. And one thing you should notice is that all the bony tissue of the pelvic diaphragm is covered with muscle. There is muscle there to pad the hard bone. Now the muscles are there not just to pad, they are functional muscles. But especially in females, when giving birth, the baby passing through this area would have some cushioning between it and the bone. Now, in the next video, we'll go back to looking at the lithotomy position and the external view to look at the anal triangle of the perineum. Thank you for your attention.